why Naruto versus Luffy versus Ichigo isn't close.
For this versus battle, I'm going to be taking the characters at their peak and giving them what I believe is the highest but most reasonable tier of power. Okay. It should already be given that these characters' baseline are planetary and FTO, which I will elaborate more in the video as to why, but just know for people that believe that it's impossible for these characters to be in this tier of power and it's impossible for them to destroy planets, or some cringe argument like on some like Goku's only planet level BS, I'm sorry, go cry somewhere else. I really don't want to hear it, bro. And the same thing applies to the people who think that Naruto, Luffy, and Ichigo are like multiversal and they can beat Goku individually.
Nah,
for these individuals, please do me a favor and just get off the video. I do not want to deal with it.
It's the most absurd thing you can say, but not gonna lie.
Let's do it. Now, I'm gonna start off with Naruto first, because for some reason people think I hate Naruto and I'm biased towards One Piece when literally that's just not true. I have made claims that I probably wouldn't agree with now, but I mean that's just kind of how it is with arguments constantly changing over time. But Naruto at his best would upscale from characters like Kaguya, with her truth-seeking orbs being capable of destroying planets. Base Kinshiki and Toneri are also capable of performing feats like this, who weaker versions of Naruto could deal with. Even after his chakra being drained and Sasuke using a lot of his chakra after teleporting everyone to the battlefield, they were making Momoshiki baby rage during their battle. Momoshiki was capable of absorbing Kaguya's dimension, which included things like stars and celestial bodies. Naruto at best, without being disingenuous, could be in the solar system range, but for sure he's at least higher than Large Star. And again, for those who think Kaguya and Momoshiki are universal, please click off this video and have a horrible day. As for speed, well, Momoshiki absorbing said stars would have to require at least MFTL plus speeds, which is consistent since even before Naruto entered the war, he was way into light speed and got amped to a ridiculous degree. Baron mode Naruto would fart on Momoshiki, so he'd obviously upscale from these feats. As for hacks, well, Naruto obviously can clone himself 1,000 times over, has multiple forms of Duraneg with Magnet Release, Rasen Shuriken, and Truth-Seeking Orbs, which I will give him for this battle. Truth-Seeking Orbs are capable of not only destroying your body, but also your soul, as we see Minato's ghost not having an arm due to being hit with
Naruto still had him, and
on top of all of this, he can attack from all ranges, essentially, has mastery over every basic chakra nature, precognition, enhanced senses, and can fly, which weirdly enough, these three are all capable of doing. Naruto is a beast, but is he Himothy? Before? Next up, we got my goat, Luffy. Monkey D. Luffy is a character.
He started off with my goat, man. Yeah, I can already tell. You know what I'm saying? He about to hype him up, but let's see.
I have discussed on the channel before, so I'll make this section very brief. Old Whitebeard can destroy the entire One Piece world, which has been calculated to be at small star. Luffy in Gear 5 scaling to Kaido, who's relative to this white.
See.
To this, and due to upscaling from his earlier versions that
Luffy being Large Star off of Whitebeard's statement is kind of crazy, you know what I'm saying, just because, you know, they're calculating the One Piece planet, the world to be, you know what I'm saying, as big as a star, but that really just
light and use.
I feel like that's like an upscaling him. If we're doing what they're comfortably around, you should put him at planetary, not just rank him all the way up to star.
Gear 2, which is a 10 times multiplier, and then Gear 4, which is at least 3 times higher than Gear 2. Plus, Luffy legit surpasses his Gear 4 self in base 2 times in the series, once in Whole Cake and again in Wano, meaning bare minimum Luffy is definitely moving in the MFTL plus ranges, which is over 1,000 times into light speed.
Luffy being 1,000 times faster than light is kind of a crazy statement, I'm not gonna lie. You feel me? I can see you said something like 50 or 100, but 1,000? It's kind of crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, just off of like how is he scaling, because he's saying like his amps that he gets are just for everything, speed, strength, like, yeah, sometimes certain amps are for certain things, like certain amps are for strength, certain amps are for speed.
As for hacks, the most important things to know going into this battle are his future sight, advanced armament, and conquerors, which can hit through character durability. However, we know that he can't just one-shot characters way stronger than him, as Kaido was taking a bunch of Duraneg attacks due to being built different, and one can argue, but hockey, but for these versus battles, we normally equalize the energies to make things simple and not get into those, oh, he doesn't have chakra.
Bro, I can't stand when people say, oh, no one can beat this One Piece kid because he's a Logia fruit and he can't hit him.
Oh, no, you wrong. You just wrong. Shut the fuck up and be wrong.
Shut the fuck up. Stop talking. Please!
Or, oh, they technically can't see Ichigo. Come on, guys. We are past this buffoonery. Come on, this is caveman stuff. Come on, let's keep evolving.
Like, there's no
Gear
way people...
5's Toon Force and wacky abilities are obviously factors that could give Luffy the edge if he's especially significantly above his opponents.
Okay, now before it gets into Luffy, he just did Naruto, he just did Ichigo. He just did Naruto, he just did Luffy. And what I'm hearing from here is that, you know what I'm saying, I feel like Luffy is taking the dub in this one. And y'all probably like, yo, Funnel, what are you talking about? Come on. Luffy is packing him up. I'm sorry, you feel me? He has the Toon Force abilities. He's at least 50 to 10, 20 times faster than Light. You feel me? Well, I feel like Naruto is physically stronger than Luffy, but you know, when it comes to like, you know what I'm saying, speed, Luffy just outspeeds him and outhacks him with his Toon Force ability. I feel like Luffy has the speed advantage and he has the abilities advantage, and that's all we really need to take care of Naruto. While Naruto is physically more powerful, more destructive, I feel like Luffy with his Toon Force abilities is taking care of him. I'm sorry, you feel me? The Toon Force abilities are kind of insane.
Lastly, we have Ichigo Kurosaki, who is another character I've talked about, but not nearly as much as Luffy.
Nah, I used to be on Naruto's side,
War is basically the strongest dude
Luffy
around,
just got
being
too
above
strong
the
with
likes
the
of
Gear 5.
Yamamoto. The same man who is capable of destroying the Soul Society passively with his Bankai, which represents the living world, and we know in the same place there's a night and day cycle, meaning there are also stars in the Soul Society. This argument is a little shaky for a lot of people, but this is pretty much the bare bones planetary Bleach scaling, besides using the movie stuff, which I don't really like doing, but we're gonna be using it anyway. The reason why it's a little shaky is because we don't know the exact time frame of when Yamamoto was going to destroy the entire Soul Society. I would assume that because they kept threatening that it would destroy the Soul Society, maybe it was going to happen over a short period of time, but we can't really just depict a time frame. However, generally people do accept this as planetary, and characters like Butterfly Aizen and Blood War Kenny should scale above this version, with Ichigo scaling above them tens of times over due to his increase in power. And even in the second movie, which is canon, an explosion goes off that is strong enough to destroy a small star, which you can get up to solar system through upscaling with the multipliers in the series, which I'll just get into now because I have brought this up in my previous Bleach videos, and this also kind of helps me get through Ichigo's AP and speed at the same time, so let me cook. The difference between Shikai...
Wait, let him cook.
And Bankai is a 10 times difference.
Okay, he's
the
cooking.
Hollow Mask, along with any of Ichigo's other significant power-ups, would have to be at least a 10 times increase, since they are implied to be more significant than Bankai.
Okay,
and we know this because even forms like Vasto Lorde, which isn't even Ichigo's strongest form, is unlike anything that Uryu's ever seen before. And guess what, guys? He just keep getting stronger and stronger. Now, I went over as to why this applies to AP because, you know, it's all based on destroying a small star in the second movie, which is canon. But what about speed? Well, to put it simple, I mean, we just take all these multipliers and then we just apply it to Ichigo in the Soul Society arc, who should upscale from this guy who can dodge an actual beam of light. Pretty self-explanatory. I mean, Ichigo pre-Soul Society is apparently implied to be blocking spiritual light, and even the homeless Espada are shooting light speed attacks. Like, it's pretty common knowledge that these characters are well into light speed. As for hacks, well, I mean, we know in Bleach characters are just dinking each other's souls, and if characters aren't up to par, then their souls are literally getting blinked away by the opponent. Yeah, for this battle, I'll say that Ichigo can't do that if he's capable of doing so, and instead, I'll just say that his soul hacks is mainly going to be applied with his Ryatsu, and if his attacks connect, then yes, it would affect their soul. Aside from that, he's resisted the likes of Aizen's attacks, which affect your soul on an atomic level, and can even resist Aizen's Ryatsu, which erases people's very existence if you're weaker than him. Has precog thanks to Kisuke's training, plus insane senses similar to our other combatants. Let's get ready to rumble!
Now let's see! Wait, he about to get into? Let's see what's his reasoning.
It's clear looking at it initially that Luffy is sadly not holding up to par to the other two with their peak scaling. Solar Luffy, I think, is a big reach, and at best, for now, we can only say he's well into star level. Luffy may be down, however, he wouldn't be completely out, as his Duraneg and speed to keep up with them could be factors for him.
That's what I was saying, why he beats Naruto.
Due to Naruto's insane regen plus Ichigo's insane power gap, I really don't think these factors matter all that much.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. If Luffy goes Gear 5, you feel me, and if he's around planetary to star level at most, low star level, you feel me, and you scale Naruto to only large star level, you feel me, I think Luffy can really knock some of that down. Pause, you feel me, because Luffy is number one, and I think he's faster than Luffy due to all the gear multiply. I said faster than Luffy, faster than Naruto due to all all the gear multiplying, then his Toon Force ability is going to overwhelm Naruto. And that's why I'm thinking Luffy is clapping Naruto. But when it comes to Ichigo, Ichigo has him up in strength, has him up in speed, and his abilities, I mean, you can give it at Luffy, but Ichigo's mere power is just going to overwhelm Luffy. So I'll put it like this: Naruto the weakest, not physically weakest, but if they were to fight, Naruto, Luffy, then Ichigo.
And at best, Luffy would be relative with Naruto if you believe that solar system is a reach for Naruto, and you can only say that he's star level. Regardless, Naruto's scaling is just more valid. And Ichigo is the only one out of the three, in my opinion, who has scaling that's concretely into solar system level due to the amount of amps he gets in the series. And with these increases, I wouldn't be surprised if Ichigo was faster than them. However, relative or not, Ichigo would just be so much more powerful than the other two that his Ryatsu would just turn them into
it by like 10 times.
In terms of soul hacks, there's really no way to say that these two have any way of resisting what Ichigo has, especially with the gap in AP. Like, Bleach is literally known for their spiritual stuff. Trying to say Naruto and Luffy would outdo them in this department is silly. If these three are moving in to clash at each other in a three-way struggle, then Ichigo is more than likely able to neg both of them in just one swing with the sword.
Maybe not one swing, you know what I'm saying, but Ichigo's gonna come on top, Luffy's gonna be second, Naruto's gonna be third. You're not gonna like it, you're not gonna like Naruto being third, but he's third!